Oh dear, this is now my third take on this video. The first one 2 weeks ago did not record. And the one I just did just now did not record. But never mind, let's have a smile and try and do it again. I'm now looking at my video screen, I've just turned it around, and it is actually going up. So it is recording. What a silly boy I am. Right, positives on anxiety. I can give you plenty of negatives at the moment after it didn't record, but I'm going to read a little bit from the internet. I did read halfway through my last one because I wanted to give something for myself first, but just so I get in the frame of mind again, I will read a little bit. I've also got a cousin Harry who will say a little bit. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. It may be bits and pieces between myself and him talking, or it may be just Harry at the end. I'm not sure. But there's plenty of positives that he's given me there. He's known me for a very long time, and he also suffers with a little anxiety, but not as bad as I do. Right, I'm going to have a little read of this just to get my mind back in the swing of things. It must mean my last one wasn't any good. So will I make this one a little better? We will find out, won't we? Right, this is off the internet. Here are 6 potential hidden benefits of anxiety. Increased motivation. Anxiety can act as a motivator, pushing you to take action and complete tasks and alleviate worry. Enhanced awareness of potential threats. Anxiety can serve as an internal alarm system, making you more alert to potential dangers and prompting cautious behaviour. Improve preparedness. By anticipating potential issues, people with anxiety may proactively plan for different scenarios, creating backup plans and mitigating stress. Better decision making. The tendency of consider multiple outcomes due to anxiety can lead to more thoughtful and well-considered decisions. Greater empathy. People who experience anxiety may be more sensitive to others' emotions and struggles, fostering empathy and understanding. Resilience building. Facing and managing anxiety can build resilience, allowing you to better cope with future challenges. There's a positive there because the last time I read that on my last video, I stumbled on a word or two, and there I didn't. So a positive for the last one, not making it to the computer. I will do this a little bit differently I did earlier. I just went through completely from my head, but I'm going to use what I just read. Right, increased motivation. Yes, anxiety can be a motivator because I always want to beat it. Just a couple of days ago, I went from Plimbridge up to Can Quarry. I've not done that for a long time, but I wanted to make a video, and I had to get to the weir to make the video sort of complete. And it was the best video that I've done, and that's up on YouTube. So that certainly made me complete the task. It certainly did not alleviate the worry, but there again, if you think things through like I do, some of the worry does go, but obviously it increases some as well. Again, very difficult to completely stay positive, because there's positives and negatives, but I'm trying to enhance the positiveness Right, enhanced awareness of potential threats. As my wife Rika will say, I never miss anything on the road. I can remember number plates. I see everybody that passes me. If a friend passes me, a member of family passes me, I say, oh, I just gone past so and so. And she wonders how I do that. I wonder if that's part of the autism or not. It certainly does have an internal alarm system, because so often I see things that are dangerous, and I've actually seen something dangerous and warned somebody. I can remember somebody using a post banger. I said, you be careful, because if it hits the top of the post, it'll hit your head. And a few moments later, bang, bang on his head. Knee knocked the poor chap out. So that certainly saw a potential threat. It can be a right pain, because you see these threats and they can work against you. But there are several positives in that as well. Improved preparedness. Harry will certainly could say a bit about this, because he's always prepared, and he's got to be prepared before he goes out in many ways, like I do. So before I go out, my body certainly prepares itself for going out. I'm not going to go into detail, but it does mean several trips to the toilet. And also, the positive thing is you need to know where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what's at the other end. That is why I find it so difficult visiting new places. Like when I went to the radio station in Plymouth, I didn't know what to expect. I find it difficult to go into Plymouth, but the positive thing is I got there. Harry will go into detail about that. I don't really want to say too much about that, because it will repeat when Harry talks. I'm not sure it mitigates stress or not, because the stress is always there. But if you planned it, I suppose there is less stress that way. And you've always got a second option. I've always got 2 or 3 scenarios, which can be a pain for other people occasionally. But also sometimes, like when I'm going to the dentist, doctors, or somewhere where I'm completely uncomfortable, your brain just doesn't work. Yes, several people have probably said his brain never works. Better decision making. The tendency of consider multiple outcomes due to anxiety can lead to more thoughtful and well-considered decisions. I do believe that I do think a lot before I decide. For example, it took me a year to decide to get a drone, and which one. I finally made up my mind. We don't tend to just go out and buy. We've got to think first. It can take us a lot longer to decide on what to get. Yeah, there's several things that I could go into about decisions, but I won't bore you with them. It just means that we do make better decisions. Empathy. Well, an example for empathy is what I'm doing now. I am not doing this for me. Yes, it is helping me. It's helping me look into what I suffer with, but I'm hoping this might help somebody else. If it just helps one person, it's been worth doing. I'm just checking my timer still going up, and it's still recording. I don't want to do it a 4th time. And I always seem to look after the people that need to be looked after. So if there's a weak one, I tend to look out for them. Even with animals, more so I suppose. If there's a weak one, pet or something, I always take them on if I can. Like our German Shepherd, he was in a bit of a state when we got him, but with my sort of empathy towards that dog, he's now brilliant. I'm not sure if I understand everybody all the time, I can be a bit stubborn, but we like to try. Right, resilience building. Yes, this is certainly a yes for me. When I applied for jobs in the farming time, it made me actually put everything I got into it. I was certainly able to cope better on the farm with my anxiety, as long as I could get there. I can remember one job I had, the anxiety was so bad I actually didn't get there, which was later on in my farming life. But that's a bit of a negative, but that's anxiety. So I'm going to go through from my own head about the positive of being autistic. Many people have said to me, I have known you've been autistic for years. I've always known. I often say, why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know. I didn't know until I watched Chris Packham's programmes, and I could relate to him so well. But I think I mentioned that in one of my other videos. But with the positives of being autistic is, I wouldn't say I was severely autistic, just slightly. People have told me I am. Going through how it affects you throughout your life, it seems so I am. I said no, I'm not for many years. Just recently I've just said yes, I am. That's a big positive for me, because now I realise what is probably the cause of my issues for the rest of my life. I can just think, well, that's just being autistic. Especially when I go shopping. I mentioned this in my shopping one. The noise of those tills. But the positive thing is, like when I was going up in the woods at Cam Woods, I can hear all the birds, and the hearing is absolutely spot on. I can hear things that other people cannot hear, which is quite often a positive, unless you're surrounded in noise that you do not want to hear. Awareness around me, I seem to be very aware what is around me. I can even tell if someone's walking behind me. And smell, my smell seems to be an awful lot more powerful than most others. Example is when I'm walking around the street, I can tell there's someone smoking something they shouldn't be smoking. And if I'm on the moors and there's another humanoid around and they've got deodorant on or perfume, I can smell them long before anybody I'm walking with. So loads of positives there, a few negatives, but the trouble is, to think of the positives, you got to think of the negatives as well. I don't think there's anything else really I can go into too deeply. But if you've got anything positive about anxiety or autistic, please stick them in the comments, because the more positives we can think of, the more we can focus on those positives. And a big positive for me is I'm certainly doing a little bit more than I did. Not every day, Some days I get real off days like I did yesterday. I think I just done too many walks, and because the following day after having a good walk and making a video, it completely drains me. I get the physical symptoms, but you all know what the physical symptoms are if you've had anxiety. It's not pleasant, but it's always worth it. You've been out and done something and normally enjoyed it. So if you've got anything else that you would like me to talk about along the anxiety and autistic side, I will have a go from my own experiences, because that's all I'm doing in these videos is my own experience, because obviously I know on how I feel. Hopefully on Thursday it'll be a big positive when I do the radio station for an hour. I have to mention, or at least say thank you for so many that have encouraged me on my YouTube channel and also doing this sort of video. The first one I actually did for a bit of a sort of, let's have a go, see if I'm any good. And the first anxiety one wasn't too bad. I think the second one wasn't too bad either. So I got to say a big thank you to people like Two Paws. One is Paul Robinson that I know, he's also suffers a bit. Paul from Westwood Wanderings, he's helped me along the way on the YouTube. And many more, even Harry, that you'll hear shortly. Well, hopefully you've got something out of this little video. Hopefully you're not asleep, and a few of you may have actually made it to the end. And I will make another one on something. I've already said if anybody's got anything they would like me to talk about. Anything at all. Though it's not too personal. So hopefully you all have a good week. And try and be positive on your anxieties. It can be very hard at times. But the more positive that you can be, the better you will feel. I know. Especially I made it to the Weir. If you watch that video, you'll certainly hear it in my voice. I was very chuffed on getting there. First time in many years. Right, before I repeat myself, I'll end the video and I will speak to you all soon, hopefully, on the next one. And hopefully you enjoy my YouTube videos on the surrounding areas. So bye for now.
Well, I saw Mark's video online about his mental health issues and all his apprehensions and anxieties. And the video he was doing was talking to, overcome those issues. And I thought to myself, going on to Chanter Radio, which is a show that I do, might help him out. So I asked him if he would like to come along to the show one day, to which he said, absolutely not. But then he changed his mind after a couple of hours and he came along to the show, and he said he was extremely anxious the first time he walked into the studio. I said, Mark, you're just talking to me in the studio. There's only me there. That's all you got to think about. And he went there and done the show, and I got him to talk on the show quite a bit. And he said to me after half an hour, he said, I was absolutely, and it's the easiest way to say it, pooping myself. Really, really anxious. But in actual fact, he's found it very intuitive, and it done him some good, I'm sure. It must have done him some good, because he came back to do another show the following week where he took more part and more activities in the show. I asked him to talk many times to the public listening, and he did. And he certainly seemed to, be a lot easier in chatting on the microphone. And he must have liked it that much that he's come back for a third show, only for 1 hour out of the 2, but he's gone away. And here's the thing, guys, he's actually going to do his own show, which is going to be starting next Thursday, which is this Thursday coming, in fact. And it's going to be called All Sorts of Odd Socks. And it's basically a show about mental health issues, how he's overcoming his issues and what he's doing to try and improve his life. And what a great name, I thought. Fantastic name. He's going to do his own show on Omnian Radio called All Sorts of Odd Socks. And that show is about mental health issues, his anxieties, and what makes him him. And he's going to talk about his issues, and hopefully people will message in and they'll have a chat about their issues. And I think it's going to be good for Mark. Videos he's producing now on the internet, the more talking he's doing, you can see it's getting better. He's getting more comfortable talking, which Mark has always said there's no bother stopping him talking because he's an amateur radio enthusiast. So he doesn't seem to have the issue with the microphone. But I think he's doing very well, and he's doing great guns for himself. And who knows, his show on Omnian Radio could well be the start of something new. Mark, like me, has always managed his mental health issues with joviality and jokes and mickey taking, shall we say. So, but there was none of that this time round. I mean, the jokes and the mickey taking are still there, of course, but he's getting more confident when he talks on camera, and he does seem to be vastly improving.